Hi, this is Sibila Extreme Vocal and how to sing with distortion exercises part 1. The exercises that I will show you today and in the second part of the video were tested on me and a few of my students. It turned out that they are effective, they are also simple. So I have decided to record a video so everyone could use them to learn how to sing with the distortion. We will work on two types of distortion with singing. The first one, which we will practice today, will be a little bit heavier, sharper and more massive, but it's more simple and easier to learn at the first place. And it's also helpful to learn the second type of the distortion, which is lighter, more like rock metal distortion, singing, more subtle distortion. So learning the first one will help you to also master the second one. And today we will take care of that more yeah, hey, oh, of that heavier type of the distortion. The first essential thing to do is to find the proper placement. So no matter if it's false chord growl, fry scream, or singing with distortion, or even Kargura, the placement is in our false vocal folds, which are a little bit above our true vocal folds, and false vocal folds are a little bit thinner than the true ones. And the placement for the distortion in our vocals is slightly above our larynx. So whenever you scream, growl, or sing with distortion, or do the throat singing thing, and you feel the vibrations above your larynx and your throat is overall relaxed and opened, then the placement is proper. Alright, so we know the placement, and now let's try a few ways of how to learn that that heavier type of distortion, but a more simple one to learn. We will begin from making a sound like we were clearing our throat, like Some of you may know it because I've shown that a couple of times in the Kargira throat singing tutorial and the false chord growl tutorial. They have pretty much in common. Again, it's the placement, the same placement we use for creating the distortion, our false vocal folds. That's why throat singing, growl, and the distortion, that type that we practice today, are in a common point while beginning the practice. Alright, so let's make that clearing of the throat sound. Place fingers above your larynx and observe if you feel vibrations there. As you can hear, the sound is pretty much relaxed, it's a little bit breathy, it's not as rough as it may seem to be, it's not it's not like that, it's more relaxed. We use definitely lesser amount of air and a little bit more of the support. And now let's take a look at the supporting area. What happens there, because it's pretty important. As you can see, my solar plexus goes outwards and my sides are also extending. So whenever you growl, scream or produce just like singing basic sounds, and you observe that your solar plexus goes outwards, your sides are extending, then probably you are doing the support properly. And it's crucial while learning the distortion, screaming, singing with a higher pitch, or doing whatever that is more demanding for your voice than just regular speaking. or singing in one octave. Alright, so we know that we have to use the support, we know which muscles, which areas we need to engage, we know the placement, so now let's continue our practice. If the sound is totally comfortable, you feel that your throat is opened, relaxed, nothing hurts, then you are doing it properly. If it hurts, if you feel any kind of inflammation or irritation, then just take a few minutes of break and reconsider what you can do better if you use the support. If the placement was proper, maybe you focused too much on your larynx, or you made that coughing sound like which created constrictions, especially in the lower throat. Maybe you used too much force, too much air. It's good to observe what can be done better before you will continue your practice. It's very easy to fuck up your voice with that type of exercises, so the precision, the comfort, the placement are like the most important things at the very beginning. Even 3 or 5 missed hits can knock out your voice for a couple of hours. So just be careful and kind of like self-aware. But if it's totally comfortable, you hear that that distortion, then you are doing it correctly and we are ready to move to the next step. The next step is simply sustaining each of the sound for a little bit longer. So it's not like bursting like very rapid way, it's more like Remember that the longer you want to sustain that sound, the more of the support you need to deliver. Otherwise, you will start to compensate with your throat, and it will be really uncomfortable. If the first step is much easier for you and is comfortable, then you can stick with it for a little bit longer before you will start to sustain each of the sounds for a little bit longer. But if you are able to do it, we can move forward. When we are able to sustain it for a little bit longer, now we can start to play with our voice with that distortion and imitate a sound of a driller or a motorbike, motorboat, something like You can feel that the sound is sliding from above the larynx through the soft palate, the hard palate towards the nasal cavity, like a C shape. It's also good to be aware of the fact that the sound is not too rough, it's not too loud, it's not too powerful, not demanding too much when it comes to the level of effort that we have to put into creating the sound. It's more about the precision and when it comes to the placement, but also precision to the amount of energy that we need to use to make such sound. And it's good to observe how much you need to engage your muscles to create that because it will help you to save more energy. More energy will help you to practice for longer, and practicing a little bit longer will help you to make progress a little bit faster each time you do it. It will be also much healthier for your voice because it will be not exhausted after the practice, but just a little bit tired, or like your muscles are tired after lifting weights or doing stuff like that. Okay, so we have the driller, motorbike, motorboat sound. It can remind a little bit of Kargura throat singing, but the Kargura has those overtones like and the distortion doesn't have such sound. It's much more like raw compared to the throat singing. When you are able to play with that sound, we are ready to open our mouth and release the sound with the A vowel. A vowel opens up everything, and it's really helpful to make that sound in a comfortable way. Ah, 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 ah. Joker face can be also helpful, that triangle kind of a shape of our mouth. Ah, ah, ah. Showing your teeth can be also helpful. Ah, 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 ah. When you can play with that sound in a repeatable and comfortable way, we are ready to make almost a final step towards mastering that kind of the distortion. That step is simply taking the sound next to the piano. For example, we have a sound like na na. You can play with that and hit some notes. You can use virtual piano on your PC or another type of app that has the piano, and just play and hit some notes, because then you will make from the distortion singing with the distortion. You can also try to whoa, yeah, whoa, sing different patterns of melodies, different sounds. If you have some warm-ups with the backtrack, piano backtrack playing for your singing warm-up, you can use some of the most simple exercises from those backtracks, from those warm-ups, and replace the clean sound with the distorted sound. For example, we have like wow, wow, na na na, ma ma ma. And you can play around with that sound, hitting notes, singing melodies, and this is how you can develop, you can grow your singing with distortion technique. Alright, so that's all for today. I hope you will like the exercises. I hope they will be helpful for you for developing of your distortion, for singing. If you like the video, give thumb up, subscribe the channel, and stay tuned for the next part of distortion exercises. Stay tuned. Cheers and love, fuckers.